Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the WCG Podcast, episode number 7. This episode is the Australia ADT20 Big Bash review. On my left, we've got Matt White. Welcome back.
Hi.
How's your week been, sir?
Not too bad, actually. Got Friday off, which is excellent.
Yeah,
Probably have to work Saturday, but
shit. It all balances itself out, doesn't it? And we've got a special guest for the first time on the podcast. We've got the one and only Daniel Arnold. How are you, brother?
I'm well. Yourself?
Good, mate. Good. I've been pumped to have you on. This is
Well, I've been looking forward to coming on.
I'm sure you have. Rabih, be warned.
Jeez, who's that?
This could be very entertaining tonight.
Finally, we're all working hard, and we've finally been able to get this podcast happening. On this episode, as I said before, we're going to review the Australia ADT20 Big Bash. We'll go over the groups. We'll go over the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the final, leading run scorers, leading wicket takers, and then we'll finish off with some questions. First, I'll cut to Matt. Well, actually, before that, for those who have watched the videos, know that Young Money, Cash Money have won their first ever Australia ADT20 Big Bash title.
Wankers.
They defeated Matt White's Wet Up in the final by 14 runs. I'll get your thoughts on the tournament as a whole as well, Matt. Unlucky in the grand final, but yourself and your team had a good tournament.
Yeah, we did actually. I thought the tournament was probably one of the best. It's good. It's happened, and
just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it?
The girls really improved a lot, since their first game out.
Young Money, Cash Money.
Sorry,
WCG Babe. Sorry.
Yeah. And good old Jack Sullivan, the first million view player.
Amen.
Thanks, Jack. Well done, brother.
I don't think that's anything to celebrate from Jack's point of view, but hey, he got the WCG some views, so fantastic.
Oh, he did really well, mate. He did really well.
Might have to chat about that soon, eh?
But no, it was.
We'll be talking about that. Don't worry.
It was a fantastic tournament.
No, it was really
it's
good.
A tournament just get better and better by the years.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Next year, I'll be better again. It'll be good.
Well, hopefully we can win it this time.
No, I don't think so, mate.
Yeah, well.
Actually,
I was looking over.
Good for you,
I was looking over the stats before. Every year that I don't make it, you make it. So 2016, 2018, 2020. How does that make the grand final? 2017, 2019, 2021. Wet Up make the grand final.
That's interesting.
So if we're not paired in, not paired in the same group in future, maybe we'll play a grand final together.
That could be possibly.
Do I have to tread lightly because I've got both of my captains sitting right here?
Well, not I hear he's going to trade you to Britain's 11 next year. But look, that's a conversation for another day.
Oh.
Full of shit, mate. Full of shit.
Coco, your thoughts on the tournament? Unfortunately, from our point of view, we crashed out at the group stage. We'll talk about the biggest farce in WCG history, that match fixing saga in match 12. We'll get onto that as we get there. But apart from that,
I can't remember.
Yeah, you got rich all of a sudden. Your thoughts on the tournament, big fella?
Very, very good tournament.
Did you enjoy your
Yeah,
that's a fine.
That's a fine, is it?
It's the WCG shit, isn't it?
Silly duff.
Yeah, mate. The competition stepped up. Anyone could have won any part of it. It was really strong.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of weak links, and it's like Jack and Rabih. And
oh yeah, we're 3.5 minutes in. You've mentioned his name. That's good. That's 3.5 minutes longer than I thought it was going to be. To be honest.
To be honest, I thought I didn't say that. I was thinking that, but it's come out.
I said it before you got here. I said once we go through Group A, I said, "What do you think about 2 inches short of length to smack my pitch up?" You go, "Yeah, Rabih sucks." Guaranteed. All right, we'll go through the groups. As the boys said, it was a fantastic tournament. Young Money, Cash Money, and Wet Up were clearly the two best sides of the tournament. There were a couple of surprise packets, as there always is at the Australia ADT20 Big Bash. I think that's what makes it so good of a tournament. It's all decided on the day. There's always a surprise package, but the cream always rises to the top in Young Money, Cash Money for that day. I know it's going to a former member of Young Money, Cash Money, so that's why I think there's going to be a bit of animosity here to his former captain.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't believe you.
So it's because I still don't know if you poached me or he sacked me.
I think you know what the real answer is, but he'll tell one story and we'll tell the actual facts.
We'll tell the truth.
Yeah,
I thought you got sacked.
Yeah. Well, that's your first problem, believing Rabih Elbasha. But, all right, so, look, we'll get into the tournament as a whole because if we don't start doing this, we'll just start talking shit about Rabih for about an hour. Yeah. Group A, so 2 inches short of a length, top that group, featuring Smack My Pitch Up in the 6 offenders. Group A was always going to be the group. Group A and Group D were the two groups that we looked at and went, "Oh, they're going to be tough groups."
Tough groups.
2 inches short of a length. Smack My Pitch Up ended up defeating the Six Offenders in the final match of the group stage to go through. What were your thoughts, boys? Matt, what were your thoughts on that group?
First note, first ball.
The very first ball of the tournament.
Juzzo got whacked in the old Jazz Crackers. See you later, bud.
Well, he reckons it was straight in the slug.
Oh, did he?
So, look, if it's straight in the slug, it's not that... Like, it doesn't hurt that much, does it?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't have one, so, maybe it does. But first rock of the tournament, Nathan Hancock straight into
the Jazz Crackers, mate.
And he was, for those who have watched either the first match, the whole tournament, or the vlog, will know that, he was down for quite some time. And that kind of set the tone for the match, didn't it?
Well, I thought, definitely thought the Six Offenders were unlucky about not going through to the next stage. But I expect big things from them next year. They were pretty upset that they didn't go through. So
young blood, mate.
Well,
they've got some talent for sure.
And what's his name, Mr. Riley?
Riley.
Yeah, he played pretty well actually. I was quite impressed with him. So handled it pretty well. So
we'll talk about Riley later in the podcast because there is a question that is kind of related to that. Kogo, Six Offenders bowing out. Expected to go through 2 inches short of length. I think we expected to top the group, but Smack My Pitch Up were the surprise packet.
They just sort of went through under the radar type of thing.
Well, they got hammered in the first match.
That's right.
They got hammered in the first match against 2 inches short of a length, and then they bounced back and they got the chocolates against the Six Offenders. Ended up beating them with a bonus point in the end. So
I didn't expect the Six Offenders to lose a match in that group.
No,
I thought they would have won both of their matches.
Well, especially after they knocked off 2 inches short of a length, you would have thought.
I would have thought they were going to the semi-finals like at the start of the tournament.
Yeah,
100%. Definitely.
But unfortunately, the youngsters, for 2 years in a row, they've bowed out. Last year, they got knocked out in the quarterfinals by Saggy Greens, and this year, they've effectively been knocked out by Smack My Pitch Up. Two sides that you would look at and go, you're not the strongest side. So I think they're the side that they want to break through to that top echelon. You know that they've got the talent to do it. At the moment,
it's just age too, I think, and a bit of experience, just cool head stuff.
When
the boys are getting stronger each year. As you can quite see.
When that happens, we won't catch them. When that happens, they're going to be good.
Oh yeah,
if they stick together.
Oh, the coaching's finished, mate. They're over 18 now. That's it done, mate.
Not yet. Oh, actually, May. It's this month.
Just about. It's only a couple of weeks away.
This month, so beautiful. They'll be having 10 schooners like the rest of us.
That's it.
And then we'll see how good they are.
Well, this is true.
Yeah. The no drink rule will have to come into effect for those boys.
We'll get Dad up there. You can supervise.
Dad's going to supervise. He'll drink their beers. So from Group A, 2 inches short of a length, and Smack My Pitch Up went through to the quarterfinals. Congratulations to Smack My Pitch Up. Their second year in the tournament, and they qualified for the quarterfinals. So that's Pete. Daniel Blake and Jake Casaccia, the greatest looking man to ever grace a WCG, in my opinion, the Italian stallion.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, what did you make of their group stage? I mean, they got for them to get hammered in the first match and then to turn it around against the Six Offenders, it was a pretty good effort.
Yeah, I think Daniel Blake surprised with the ball, not fast, but he got
quite a few wickets.
Well, he took four. He took four for the tournament. He was in the top 5 wicket takers. It just showed. I think all three of them have that. They've worked on their bowling. That just be accurate. You don't need to be that fast.
No.
And I think it showed in that final match against the Six Offenders. They as you were saying before, they're young.
Yeah.
So the nerves were really.
Definitely. And that's when it comes to the tight moments. How do we play it? A little bit of inexperience on that level. You know what I mean? So, come on, Coco, get the beers out.
My bad host.
So
sort that out.
But you learn from your losses. So I'd expect them to be stronger again next year for sure.
Yeah, well, they'll be a year wiser, a year older. So you would think that that might serve them well. But they've been going backwards. They've been going backwards. The semi-finals in 2019, quarterfinals in 2020, group stage in 2021. So they might even be relegated next year.
Well, they could win it too. You don't know.
Yeah. Look, I think unfortunately for the Six Offenders, they bowed out, and 2 inches short of a length and Smack My Pitch Up went through the quarterfinals. So that was, the final points tally was 3-3-2. As we expected, it was going to be tight.
Yep.
And it's that's what the Australia AT, you, as we'll talk about in our group, you win the first match and you think you're on top of the world, and all of a sudden you lose the next one. So I've got to finish it. Sorry.
Finish it up, mate. Leaving the soldiers behind.
Fucking backwash,
That's not Ian's tradition.
mate. All right, I'm on another big day.
Wow.
Yeah, so you win the first match, you think you're on cloud nine, and all of a sudden you lose the next one, you're out of the tournament. I guess that's what's so good about the Australia AT20 Big Bash. It's cutthroat, mate. You've got to
That's
be
it.
on.
You've got to be on the game, on the day. Simple as that.
Conversely, as we'll get to our group, you can lose the first match and then win the next one, and you're through.
Yeah.
The
take that extra wicket,
or pay that extra bit of money, or pay that extra bit of money, and you go
cash.
through.
I didn't see any cash.
Yeah.
No cash here.
That's not what I hear. That's not what I hear. So that was Group A. So we'll move on to Group B. Group B featured Nice Gary, the Puffin Billies, and 60 Grit. This one went pretty much as expected. Nice Gary topped the group with 2 wins from 2. They finished with 5 points with a bonus point against 60 Grit. The Puffin Billies, who had signed Nathan Maslow for the tournament,
good find.
He was fantastic.
Can play.
He,
Can play. Good acquisition next year for Matt's 11.
We'll get onto that as well in the future. The Puffin Billies, finished on 3 points with a bonus point win against 60 Grit. 60 Grit finishing bottom of the pole, getting their collective put to them. Boys, thoughts on Group B? Nice Gary topping the group, not surprising there.
For sure.
A great match in I think 6 it was. Nice Gary v Puffin Billies. The Puffin Billies nearly got home. Yeah. Harry Dean taking 2 wickets in his, I don't know if it's final over or his over, to knock over the Puffin Billies and get them home by 3 runs. Thoughts on Group B, boys?
Well, I thought the Puffin Billies played pretty well, actually. Like, considering their first year, they were sort of a bit shocked about how it all happens, and then they had Darky there, which couldn't put it on the pitch.
His first ever
But, it made a big difference just bringing one good player like Nathan, you know what I mean? So
very good player.
A little bit of luck went their way. I thought they could have gone, done pretty well, like gone a lot further than they did.
I think that they're all still currently playing outdoor cricket. I don't know about Nathan, but they've still got a bit of touch about them.
Definitely.
The negotiations are ongoing about their future enrolment in outdoor cricket. We're trying to sell them the dream of playing international backyard cricket. And let's look, Skipper and Azar have both said, "Ooh, it's not bad." So we'll watch this space. Nice Gary breezed through. Puffin Billy second. 60 Grit. 60 Grit. Now, they only made the quarterfinals last year because they were in a group with the 6 offenders and the WCG Babes. There will be a question that will probably relate to 60 Grit later on, but if there's ever an argument for relegation and promotion, I'll tell you what.
Well, I'm surprised. The boys come from Camden. It's a pretty strong cricket area. They must be the 3 worst cricketers in Camden.
Mendo's Castle Hill.
Yeah, Castle Hill. So.
But they were
pretty ordinary.
They were touched up, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Look, they had their moments. Actually, I'm trying to think. Did they have their moments? No, I don't think they did.
No, there was no.
There was zero.
Tournament.
There was zero.
No. But, probably the moment was when they scored their highest runs, which whatever it was.
8. I think it was. I think they scored 5 and 8 or 8 and 7 or 8 or whatever. But
I thought young Pasterfield would have gone all right, but it's you just must be a test player. That's it.
Well, being last tournament.
Well, you can't captain a side. That's the problem.
No, 100%.
Last tournament, 8 could have won you the game because there were some low-scoring games last tournament.
Well, there were. It would have won the semi-final.
Yeah,
in that second semi-final. Hello to 2 inches short of length, you chuggers. This group B pretty much went to plan. And the 60 Grit finishing bottom of the pile with a duck egg. So Nice Gary topping the group. Puffin Billies through to the quarterfinals for their first. Actually, that was their first ever win against 60 Grit. They've only played because they got knocked out of the group stage last year. So that's 2. They played 2, and then they played 2 in this one. So they played 4 group games and only won 1. But that's what it is. If you knock off the team that finishes last, guess what?
Well, that's
through
it.
the quarterfinals.
That's right. Correct.
All right, so we'll move on to Group C. Now, this group probably didn't go to plan. I'd say the score, the points tallies probably did, but I think we all thought that the Nif-Nuffs would probably top that group. Do we think that?
Yeah.
So the Saggy Greens topped the group with 4 points with 2 wins out of 2. They knocked off the Nif-Nuffs in that absolute cracker of a game. Game 3. Tommy Doy walking in at
Cult hero.
Was it 2 for none? Walked in at 2 for none, chasing 40 odd.
Yeah.
And a bit of luck here or there. I remember him getting dropped by Joel Wodgick. Sharp caught and bold chance in the second over, which would have wrapped it up. He gets dropped. That ball goes to the boundary, and then a few moments here or there. But they all went the Saggy Greens way, and he got him home.
Famous famous last words, Stephen Wall. You dropped the World Cup.
Well, yeah.
Did Tommy Doyle let that go? Because I would have. Well, said that was shit.
You know what? Fair point. Fair point, because they did that, because it was obviously with the WCG babes in that group.
Yeah.
It was whoever won that match was going to finish top of the group.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll get to with their quarterfinal, but they obviously had the tougher draw in the quarterfinal as it panned out. So perhaps they did drop the Australia ADT20 Big Bash Cup. Maybe. Well, Wodgick in particular.
Well, yeah, Wodgick, and getting bowled by Sam too in the next game. That wasn't a good tournament for Wodgick.
Well, it was, because he was a third lead run scorer, but yeah, he dropped. He had highs and lows, definitely.
Yes.
He couple of good knocks, and then he drops Tommy Doy in that match, and then he gets bowled by Sam Guy. That doesn't get talked about enough.
I know, it was a good ball, actually.
Tanya and Jack's wicket gets talked about, and that's fair enough because it's boyfriend and girlfriend, but Joel has established himself as one of the leading batsmen at WCG.
Oh, definitely,
And Sam ripped through him.
Yeah.
And you could see the amazement on Joel's face, and he went, oh no, this actually just happened.
Yeah.
That just
And
happened.
he sort of like coiled off, and he's like noticing that it's not as big as deal as what Jack was and Tanya. He's like, I've got away with this.
It definitely did. It definitely wasn't as loud, but it hasn't been talked about enough. But that was a look. The babes have to get a special mention here. They've improved out of sight. We had Vanessa Fowler, who filled in this year. She might become a regular fixture in that side with the way she fielded in particular.
Ricky Ponting, take your heart out.
Mate, she could teach Ricky Ponting a thing or two, I think, from what we saw.
Definitely.
Boys, how good.
Yeah.
There was
very good.
So Tanya knocked over Jack. Sam knocked over Joel. And Vanessa in the field was outstanding.
Probably at least 5 saves, 6 saves of saving 4 runs.
I was just
full
about to say that.
stretch like a goalkeeper.
Mate, it's crazy. She does it once. Oh, that's mad. She does it again. Oh, that's pretty good. She does it a third time. You go, what's going on here? Fourth time, you're like, what the hell is doing here? She's a star.
Yeah.
So, the good thing about the girls next year is that they're going to have about 5 or 6 to pick from. You know, at least they're getting a bit of a squad together. They've got battle. They've got competition for spots. The girls, so that's what you want.
Good. That means they have to improve. You know what I mean? So, it's only looking up. You know, it was hard to get a team for the first one, and now you got 5, 6 girls wanting to play. Oh, it's good.
It is the good thing that we have is that we have players that are ready to
jump in.
So if you're crook, someone is going to fill your spot, and if they play well,
Brooke was supposed to.
You're on the back. You're on the back burner.
Your spot.
Yeah.
Well, Brooke was supposed to play, and then Tanya, she couldn't make it, so Tanya had to fill in for her. And then look how well Tanya played.
Well, that's right. Yeah, because it was because
So-
then Vanessa came in as well. So you had Tanya, who was a star, bowled better than some of the blokes that there.
Especially
She might even get a look in for Brenner's 11 soon. I think we'll just sign her up, working on it off.
Well, she's whacked Jack for 6, so he's thrown the towel in after that. He got the 10, he's big time.
Yeah, but he still wants to run next year. I don't think the Sagi Greens hierarchy are happy to have him back.
No.
But so the Sagi Greens topped that group. The Nif Nuffs finished second after they beat the WCG Babes in their match, and it finished. Sagi Greens top, Nif Nuff second, WCG Babes third. They finish on 0 points, but they can hold their head up high, can't they?
Yeah, most definitely, mate. I was quite impressed with their attitude and efforts. So and the future looks bright for them. So and they're definitely
still yet to get a win at the WCG.
Yeah.
It may be around the corner.
I'll tell you what, if they can come up against 60 grit next year, there's a big possibility, Big possibility.
Well, we might have to just rig that.
Yeah, I think we might have to rig that one.
I'm thinking that personally for Jack Sullivan, love you, Jack. Yeah. I think the only way he's going to get runs if he eats the leftover Indian in the fridge.
Indian food or Indian bloke?
It's funny you say that about Jack, because on the Wednesday he come over to my house. He goes, "I got a problem." So, what's that, bud? And he goes, went to the nets yesterday with Tanya, and she's
pre-tournament.
Yeah, pre-tournament, and she's bowled me, and I said, "Oh, mate, you're gone, bud." He goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Mate, you're gone." I said, "The pressure's on you. She's got the measure of you. The crowd's going to be there. The buzz." I said, "You're going to get bowled."
Oh, wasn't it a buzz though? Wasn't it a buzz when he knocked her? She knocked him over.
It was funny. So he whacked her. He whacked her for a couple of 4s, and then someone said, "What are your wife basher?" And then that put him off, I think. And then
it was a good rock. He just got himself in a bit of a tangle, and it just as soon as it hit the wickets, mate, it sounded like there was 3,000 people there. It was just bang. It was fantastic.
It was.
Stuff.
And Jack Sullivan will never, ever, ever live that one down.
No. 1.2 million views.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
So Sagi Green Sniff does progress from that group. Now we get to Group D, the group of death. Young Money, Cash Money, Wet Up, and How's That? This was always, this was going to be a fantastic group. These three teams had qualified for grand finals in the past. How's That?
Well,
Two-time champions.
Definitely.
Wet Up, one-time champions, but have made the grand final twice. And Young Money, Cash Money had made the grand final once in their 2-year existence heading into this tournament. As it turned out, each side had a win. Each side were locked on 2 points each. And as it turned out, don't worry, you'll get. Sorry, he's about to explode.
Just
the bloke.
calm down, mate. Take a breath.
Rabih, rah!
No, I was just going to state that that one grand final that Young Money Cash Money made. Sorry, Rabih. Was that on the back of me? I think I got Rabih
on your debut tournament.
Yeah, it
your
was.
debut tournament. I think it was.
Yeah.
So you piggybacked them then,
and took him to the grand final, and
And
apparently
then-
he sacks me for taking him to a grand final. I don't know.
And then
where
if
he's
you
at.
didn't injure yourself
In the final,
back,
yeah.
in the final, I think you were 15. You could have actually gone all the way. So
Well,
yeah.
soft.
Yeah, for
So that's why he sacked you.
And then
was
we
soft.
and
It was
you-
soft.
and you left
He's
it
never
all-
forgiven you for that piking in the grand
so
final.
you
that's
left it
why.
all to Rabih, and what he had about 5 runs to win in the last over, and couldn't do
No,
it.
He had.
Something like that?
To be fair, I think he
8
had about
runs or
10 runs to
something?
get. He
10,
got
was it?
2 boundaries off you.
Yeah.
One was lucky; it hit his foot onto the bat.
Yeah.
The next one he charged and he smacked it, and then he had 2 balls left to get a boundary. To
Yeah.
get, I think,
I think
5.
a boundary.
I think 5. I think 5. I think he had 5 off 2, and he air swung at both of them. So look, still your fault. Just ask him. But look, this group was tight as you would imagine. It came down to wickets taken, and unfortunately, from our point of view, How's That's point of view, we took the least wickets, so we were eliminated at the group stage for the second time in 3 years. Maybe the captain needs a sack.
Oh, 1 wicket, mate. I can't. Just what's going on?
Yeah, well. Hey, good.
Well,
Look at all the other groups. 5. The top teams taking 5, 6, 4.
Oh, well, there's always
and
gonna
3.
happen, yeah.
Young Money, Cash Money took 3.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the group, boys? That we were all in that group.
Well, it was always going to be hard. It was a bit of luck you needed. Certain things that had to go your way to not get knocked out.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Because there's some equal talent in each team there.
That's right.
So it does. It just takes that one little bit of luck, and that's it.
Or one player to go, to have a really good game that game.
Or one paper bag handed over. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get onto the match fixing soon, but first game of the group. How's that knocked off? Wet Up.
That's right.
We've done that for the first match of the tournament twice now.
Yeah.
So you're a bit of our bunnies. But
Where'd you come?
But
mate?
then we knocked. Yeah, true story. Then Young Money, Cash Money knocked us off for the second time in 2 times that we played them. So we're a bit of their bunnies. And then at that time, Wet Up needed to beat Young Money, Cash Money to go through. After they just now let's talk about match 12. They dismissed Ryan Schaefer with the first delivery of the match after he tried to hit it into Bankstown Square. Now,
Well, he's had a history of doing that.
Schaefer is a very good cricketer. He ended up being the MVP for this tournament.
Yeah.
And match 12, he decided that he forgot how to play cricket.
And
Bowled a couple of suspect wides down the leg side as well.
coming off the back of 80 runs off 4 balls and hits one over the fence.
Oh,
Like
it was
that.
the pressure. Oh, yeah. A lot of
pressure.
pressure on him, mate.
Was a good rock,
It was
but
playing Wet Up, like.
there was some. I did hear some whispering in the backdrop here, saying, "No, just it's all right. We want to lose this one. We want to lose this one." I did hear that. There was a crinkling of a couple of paper bags. There might have been sandwich bags. I don't know what was in the bags.
Well, where was the bloody cash, mate?
Yeah,
Well, look,
definitely no sandwiches in it.
Let's just say
no
that.
cash
Let's just
either.
say that Task Force Sally Malik has been launched. We've got an investigation going on to that match because the WCG, we have integrity here, and we don't want this sort of stuff happening in the backyard.
Oh, Brendan, mate, you lost, mate. Get over it.
No, we didn't.
Yes, you did. Tell you, buddy. Tell your story, Walker.
So
mate.
yeah, we finished bottom of the group. Young Money, Cash Money topped the group by virtue of taking more wickets and Wet Up with their last gasp victory in that match 12.
Yep.
Were able to sneak through to the quarterfinals. So congratulations to you guys.
Oh, it's good to see the back of you too. Saying ta-da, mate. See you later.
Yeah, it was tough to take, to be honest.
Yeah, well, at least you got to drink more beers than everyone
We
else.
brought, that served me well.
Well,
Fucking toast at the end of the day.
We could talk about having a beer and some certain cash money. Could have a few more beers.
Okay.
There were murmurs that Ryan
too
Schaefer,
much-
who was pretty
Too much cordial being drunk.
he was pretty he admitted it at the end. He goes, he didn't have enough beers at the start, or he didn't drink at the start to be able to get them through the tournament. That's true?
Well, I reckon it should be a 5-run penalty.
It should be a 5-year penalty. Fuck him off out of the tournament.
Yeah, that's it. No drink, no play.
Yeah. You guys heard those rumours too?
Yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day...
Definitely heard the rumours, mate.
At the end of the day, that they had a decision to make and they made it. So it obviously served them well. It obviously served them well.
Considering Schaefer's got to play for two people, that's probably why you had to stay off the beers, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, we can mention...
you're obviously not referring to Cookie.
No, what I will give a little shout out to Cookie. I was just saying...
Cookie, yeah.
Sean Cook... I guess it will give me a bit more of a shout out towards the end, but Sean Cook came into this tournament on debut, and he particularly in that match, the second match, he didn't have to bat in the first one against us, but in the second match against you guys, he came in. He made 20 odd. Yeah. His firit hit at the WCG hit you for a couple of fours as well. And you went,
can play.
Yeah.
And not many people come in first time and succeed like that, like he did, and end up winning the comp. So. Yeah, congratulations to him for
How about that catch Rabih took off me?
Mate, he will never do that again in his life. I thought he was putting his thumb out to thumb a lift down the Bankstown, to be honest.
Africa, but he fucking catches that.
I thought, what's your hand doing out there? You can't hitchhike here. And bang, there's a ball in it.
Oh, no.
Mate.
Mate.
Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations, Rabih, you wanker, and Schaefer, you cheat, and all that sort of stuff. How's that finish bottom of the group? And obviously, we're taking it well.
Yeah. still salty.
I'll ask you, how was your first tournament? It didn't go the way it panned out, but actually, no, I'll save that because it refers to a question later on.
Yep.
So that's the group stage done. So the 8 teams that went through, 2 inches short of length and Smack My Pitch Up from Group A, Nice Gary, Puff and Billies from Group B, Saggy Greens, Niff Nuffs from Group C, and Young Money, Cash Money, and Wet Up in a farce in Group D. So we move on to the quarterfinals. Quarterfinal 1 saw 2 inches short of a length taking on the Puff and Billies. Puff and Billies playing their first quarterfinal. Smack My Pitch Up. The finals veterans, I guess you'd call them. They've been around for 3 years, but they've made the back end of the tournament each year. However, they were upset here in quarterfinal 1 and knocked out of the tournament. 2 inches short of length, making 1 for 25 of their 20 deliveries. Justin Brook, 14. Joseph Airy affecting a run out after his first run out was given not out correctly by one of the great umpiring decisions of all time. I don't know who the umpiring was.
It was close, but
some good looking bloke, but
he was in. He was,
good sort.
Not you.
But he did get the run out next time. He wasn't happy about it. Severi, he still maintains that it was out, even though the evidence suggests that it's not. That's all right. But his side were able to get home. Joey Azar at the top of the order, making 15. Nathan Maslow finishing 11 not out off 3 deliveries in the final over to get them home by 1 wicket. Justin Brook taking 2 for 9. Boys, thoughts on the quarterfinal?
Well, I thought the Puff and Billies deserved it. To be honest.
If you win, if you win in the finals, in the knockout stage, you win, you deserve it. Like you just got to get home, don't you?
They played the bit better cricket. You know what I mean? Like obviously they lost 1 more wicket, but they got within 3.
Well, the difference as well was Maslow because he's handy with the ball. And I don't think he went for many runs.
And he was good too with the bat. He was calm. He wasn't rushed.
I think. It's funny from 2 inches short of length point of view. They probably Juzzo knocks over Severi with an absolute bullet to end that third over.
That's right.
And they go to the last over needing, I think what was 11 or was it no? So they got that. So they would have needed 10 to win off that final over. They're probably better off in retrospect. Juzzo will probably wish that he never bowled that ball. Because not that Joey can't bat, but it's that when Maslow's come in and hit 11 off 3,
bang, bang, bang.
He's got that power. You're thinking, whoa.
And he's got some good stroke play too. He plays especially very, very good cover driver.
We just come in and gone 1, 4, 6. Hello, thank you. Through to the semi-finals. Take that first tournament.
Where's my beer?
Yeah. The Puff and Billies knocked over 2 inches short of a length. 2 inches short of a length. That's the first ever time that they haven't qualified for a semi-final at the tournament. So. We were thinking, are they ever going to break their semi-final hoodoo? They broke it. Yep. They went backwards to do it though. So eat shit.
Yeah, exactly. Bad luck.
Yeah.
So yes, Puff and Billy's one. Yeah, thoughts?
But both, they're not a bad side. When you look at the side, you think
that was one of the quarterfinals that we all the quarterfinals were pretty handy for their own kind of stories involved in it, but 2 inches short of length and the Puff and Billies was a very even. They're probably two sides that aren't ready to win the competition yet, but they're two of the emerging sides that are there or thereabouts. They're two sides that if they get to the semi-finals, you're not surprised. And
yeah, 100%.
And this one was a very even matchup. They got a mixture of guns, not so good, and then probably one under it. They've probably got a tier, whereas the other sides, the good sides, have probably got your two main men,
correct,
and then your one underneath that. Where these these guys have got a main man, a man under that, and probably the not so main man. Yeah. So it was a good matchup, and unfortunately for 2 inches short of length, they got knocked out. So that's quarterfinal 1. Puff and Billy's through to the semi-finals. Quarterfinal 2 saw a David and Goliath battle. Smack My Pitch Up featuring in their first ever quarterfinal. They took on Nice Gary, and in stages of this quarterfinal, they looked very good.
They looked like they were going to win it.
They looked very good. They made 24 off just 15 deliveries. They only faced 3 overs. Jake Kasacha top scoring with 12. George Paneros taking 2 for 8. Nice Gary were at one stage 1 for none after the first delivery, after Harry Dean was knocked over by Daniel Blake, his 4th wicket of the tournament. And you thought, you know what? With bowling and Paneros to come, you thought, fuck, they're on.
Paneros got out only for about 4 or 5.
No, he didn't bat.
Oh, he didn't bat.
He didn't bat.
That's right.
You're getting ahead of yourself. That's the semi-final thumping. But bowling walked in and made 21 not out and got him home. And Nice Gary, as they did in last year's semi-final, as they did against the Puff and Billies in this tournament, and as they did here, they just found a way to win. Thoughts, boys?
Bowling, at one stage we had to put lead weights in the bottom of his shoes because he's that light. The wind would blow him over the fence. So that's why the nets are around the fence. It's to keep bowling inside.
Well, after that innings, I'm surprised he didn't float away because his head would have just got wavy. But no, good look, credit where it's due, because usually they've been pretty reliant on. Is that my brother? They've been pretty reliant on Harry Dean. And, he gets knocked over first rock, and then you're thinking, right, who's going to get the runs here? And look, bowling stepped up, 20-odd not out. That's his highest score. That's one of his highest scores at the WCG ever, I think. But it got him through to a semi-final.
I mean, he gets lucky sometimes, and then once he gets that little bit of luck, running that streak going, he just hits the ball here, there. It's next minute he's got the 20 or 30.
And he's quicker. He picks up the singles fast when he has to.
Right.
I think one of the as we were alluding to before with Smack My Pitch Up, they just lack that strike bowler.
That's right, they do.
So when it comes to the crunch at this time of the tournament, Nice Gary have won the tournament before and have gone, bowling's been there or thereabouts with 2 inches short of length before that, and then Nice Gary. So they've played the bigger wigs in that tournament. So if Smack My Pitch Up are going to be a force in future, you'd think that,
the spinners seem to obviously take a bit more punishment too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's just they've just lack that strike bowler to be like a Maslow for Puff and Billies or yourself for you guys or whatever, to be able to throw the ball to them and go, right, just bowl fast and bowl and intimidate them.
Look, I've seen bowling stand up and take wickets in other tournaments and stuff, so he's...
Oh, there's no doubt about his bowling. He can bowl.
He can
and I guess that's the thing with the spinners. He's always going to go for a bit of tap, but usually in this format at least, because people's eyes light up and they go, yeah, sweet. And he's actually very successful in this format because... if you pick, because there's only 5 balls to bowl in an over, and if you pick the wrong one because you're going, right, we need runs here, you pick the wrong one, he bowls you a Jaffa and you top edge it or you miss it or you nick it through the keep or you get bowled or whatever. So
as a batsman, missing a ball from the spinner is like, oh, come on, man, it's not, should be hitting this.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? That you kind of think, well, you see bowling come and you go, right, here's the time for runs, but quite often he
and as we all know, it's not as easy as it looks.
No, especially when you're skying it over your fence, you go, how the fuck have I just done
that?
But so Nice Gary had the wobbles in that match, but as champions do, they got through, they got it done, and they qualified for the semi-finals. Quarterfinal number 3. Now this was a good one. This was the battle of the green machines. Wet Up took on Saggy Greens. Wet Up made 2 for 37 off their 20 deliveries. Matt White, 33, not out. He was dismissed for the last delivery of the innings. His highest score in that tournament. Tom Doy took 2 for 26. In reply, the Saggy Greens made 1 for 33 off 20 deliveries. Now, it looks close, but unfortunately, after Dave Lupton got off to a good start, I think he took him for 12 off that first over.
Yes.
instead of
Can't
Tommy,
bat, can't bat
instead of
nowadays.
Tommy going out,
Yeah.
he wanted Jack to go out. Now
That's
Jack
right.
only chewed up 5 balls, but he didn't make too many runs.
No.
And as
5 balls is a lot when you're chasing.
well, in
30
20,
odd.
it's a quarter of the
That's
time,
right,
innit?
that's
And then Tom Doy came out. He made 12 not out. He hit 3 boundaries, but unfortunately he ran out of balls. So you just get the feeling if he gave himself that. If he came in at number 2,
if he comes in second, it could be a whole different thing, and we're out. So
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where he
Right.
could go for a ball, first ball coming out of
See,
2 and nick it or whatever. But you just always hindsight. After coming off that Nif-Nuff's knock, you would think, he would have to come in. I remember umpiring going, "What are you doing?" Jack's walking out. I'm just going, "Mate, what are you doing?" I said, "You can't retire him until 5 balls now," and that's what happened. He faced 5 balls, retired him, and unfortunately just ran.
You can't
the
just
ball.
just give him out for the sake of it. So Jack, get off.
you got to hit it first.
No. We need more highlights at WCG, mate. You stay in. So, yeah, Matty, what were your thoughts on that quarterfinal? Because
it was getting. I was the first day. We scored some good runs, and I was pretty happy with the score. 37 is quite it's quite hard to go and get in 20 balls. But then Lapo come out and just went bang bang, and I was like, oh, hang on, we got a game here, and always wary of them boys because they know how to score a 40 quite quickly. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
we saw that,
It
didn't we?
happens quick.
you know what I mean? So,
Well, Lapo's rocks are diamonds, isn't he? He's either
Yeah.
runs or he gets a
That's
golden
right.
duck.
You know?
But the pitch flattened out nicely.
Definitely.
And towards the back end of the tournament, it was very conducive to bat on, as we'll see in the next quarterfinal and there from in. But big score. Batted well out there, mate. 33 kind of set the tone for the boys. I mean, 37, as you said.
Yeah. We shouldn't be. A team like us shouldn't be losing it. That they're losing it from that position.
You've got to be pretty ordinary bowling unit to lose not
right.
defend 37.
Exactly.
As it turned out, though, if when you get into the back end of the tournament, you play better
as
players.
You know, Saggy Greens can pull anything out of their bum. You know what I mean? So you always got to watch them. Put it that way.
When if you're taking 10 of those balls,
I have to. Yeah.
so
Against a team like that,
And he didn't take a wicket. There was the only match he did. I don't think he took a wicket.
Yeah.
But
no, I wouldn't have.
Gavin Merrifield picked up his first wicket of the tournament,
That's
removing
right.
the dangerous Lupton at that stage for 12. He finished with 1 for 5, and Wet Up got owned by 4 runs in the end. It doesn't matter how you do it. Doesn't matter what happens at the end. You've just got to get through.
No.
So Wet Up through to a semi-final. They were knocked out at the quarterfinal stage last year against Wet Up. Against Nice Gary, and now they set up a semi-final against Nice Gary. So revenge was on their mind. Quarterfinal 4. This was an absolute beauty. Not a Young Money, Cash Money took on the Nif-Nuffs, and I thought this was going to be my favourite one. I thought this was going to be a very good battle, and as it turned out, Young Money, Cash Money, no wicket for 53 after 20 deliveries. Ryan Schaefer, we
didn't see that coming.
Now, I'm pretty sure in season 1, we were a bit dodgy on the cameras and all that back then, but I remember Brendan Sargent, I'm pretty sure he made 50 on his own in a match, right? And I think this is it's definitely one of the highest team totals, but I think Schaefer's is the second highest individual score in this competition's history. 49 not out against Joel Wodgick, Henry Perinara, Todd Lavin.
is that the love?
Toddy.
Todd loving my baby.
But I shouldn't have done him like that. But yeah, so they make 9 for 53, and you're thinking, you know what? Even with Perinara and Wodgick in the side, you're thinking this is going to be a tough task. However, they made a fight of it. Joel Wodgick made 32. He took 22, I think, off the first over.
Was that
That was your mate.
was that off Rabih Elbasha?
That was your mate. He took.
Because I've had more information on why that happened.
Yeah, what was that?
And
More money?
no, because I went with him to the local foe, the soup shop in Bankstown, and the lady came out. She said I wouldn't give him a bowl with his soup. So that's pretty much 22 off his first over.
That's ironically how much the soup cost at that. Yeah. $22.
$2.22.
Yeah. So, oh no, you didn't put it on silent. Yeah, you don't want to answer it. You're on the podcast, champ.
It is on silent.
Why?
Because it's Bluetoothed here.
Bluetooth there.
Yeah,
It's
but
Bluetooth through the system that will pick up the ring.
Oh, shit.
Just
All right.
won't.
Well, we're learning. We're learning.
Well done, Brandon.
The good thing was it wasn't my missus, so I'm safe.
That could be a problem in itself. So, Wojcik, look, Joel, we'll get back on track here. Yeah. Wojcik made 32. His wicket, like in that second over, Cookie got him out. They were on track. I think he hit Cookie for a boundary in that over as well. Or a couple of boundaries. I think 6 and 4, so they were no wicket for 32 into the second over, chasing 53. They were on track. Unfortunately, Joel nicks one through to the keeper, and then they never really recovered after that, and they fell to a 13-run defeat. But they had a crack, and if Joel could have get going, he would have done it in a canter. But
Yes, definitely.
what were your thoughts on that match, guys?
Mate, that was a great match to watch, that one.
Yeah,
We were starting to get a bit long in the tooth there on the drink as it rolled into quarterfinal 4.
100%.
For those who have watched the vlog, will know that Rabih Elbasha came in for a particular stick in particular during that match, and rightfully so. But he, at the end of the day, as I said, you've just got to win. You've just got to win, and he was doing that, and he was making sure that he gave it to the crowd, as all of you saw.
Yeah.
I thought Joel was going to actually do that, and I was thinking, wow, okay, 49. Okay.
I remember saying
after the game's over.
I remember saying after the first ball he hit for 4, I went, "This is a good pitch now.
Yeah.
It's on, like it's on." And then Joel went whack, 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 and I'm thinking, "Oh, could you imagine?" But unfortunately,
wasn't to be. That was good.
He just couldn't keep it up.
It was good though. Like 40 runs off 17 balls, they were right on target. So
I think look, Wojcik's knock was good, but that still fell 17 runs short of Schaefer's knock. That's got to be one of the great knocks at the WCG,
Two good head-to-head
and it
knocks.
just showed how good. Or how good of form he was in when
100%.
he just if you were slightly overpitched or slightly short, he fucking murdered you.
I mean, it's 2.5. You know, what's the math? 2.5 a run. Sorry, 2.5 a ball.
Basically, yeah.
So it's
Nearly 3 a ball. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So
Pretty good.
Young Money, Cash Money, getting home. Oh, pardon me. Getting home by 13 runs in that quarterfinal. So that was the quarterfinals done. Puff and Billy's, Nice Gary. Wet Up, Young Money, Cash Money qualified for the final 4. All right, so now it's time to go through the semi-finals. Semi-final number 1 saw Wet Up taking on Nice Gary. Wet Up made 2 for 33 after their 20 deliveries. Matt White top scoring again with 22, standing up in the big games for once. Good on him.
He did, yeah.
Harry Dean taking 1 for 9. In reply, Nice Gary. Now, they always find a way to win. They had one, I think it's 9. That was 9 on the bounce over 3 years.
9 straight.
Yep.
And it all came crashing down in this semi-final because they were bowled out for 5 after 10 deliveries. Harry Dean making 4 and then being knocked over by one of the biggest or best deliveries we've seen at WCG for some time. Whitey with an absolute rocket knocking him over, bending that peg right back. He took 2 for 4 and Wet Up qualified for the grand final. They were the first team through to the grand final with a 28-run win. Matthew White, your thoughts on that semi-final mauling?
Just blew him out of the park, mate. I was quite impressed, actually. Obviously, it's good to bat first. We got the runs that I thought would get us through, and couldn't say that I expected them to get 5. But,
no,
but when I went ripped through Harry, and that was, trust me, that was a quick delivery. And the stump only just stayed in, which I'm spewing about because that would have been the first time
Mate,
ever.
look at all the cracks in the ground. It was holding it on. If that clay wasn't as moist underneath, it would have just...
Yeah. But that was seriously quick. I know Harry didn't even see it, I don't reckon. And then Josh, he got basically another one.
Well, you knocked him over in the first over, and then after that, it was reliant on the captain,
on Georgie,
who'd only had 1 bat for the tournament. On the pitch, not off the pitch.
and that can hurt you.
And actually, he was better off the pitch than what he was on it. I think he only made 1 or whatever, but unfortunately, he couldn't get the business done. And, well, unfortunately, for his point of view, they couldn't get the business done, and they would fall at the semi-final stage, their first loss in 3 years. Before we go any further, congratulations to them. That is, they broke their own record of 7 wins in a row. They fell short of the double-digit mark with 9, but what a fantastic effort from them over 3 years. They've been
most definitely.
They've got 2 titles. They're probably the most successful side in Australia ADT20 Big Bash history. But
going into it, also, Nice Gary. Know exactly what you're just talking about. Then know what they're capable of, and Georgie can, as you've seen before, can pull it out of his ass.
Do you know what though? Yeah. I sensed a lot of fear from those boys because George asked me. He goes, "Are you sure you got the semi-final pairings right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, oh, we got to play Wet Up. I said, yeah, they finished because it was from that side of the draw. It was Young Money, Cash Money, and Wet Up who went through.
Yeah.
So Young Money, Cash Money topped the group, so they had to be the higher ranked side. So he's like, oh, okay. So he was scared.
Yeah.
He knew that that wasn't the fixture they wanted.
I was just bowling pretty quick that day, so
As they found out.
As they found out.
Kago, you're observing of that semi-final.
Mate, I did. I didn't expect Nice Gary to capitulate like that. They were, mate, George Pineros can pull it out and knock you about, and we've seen it before. But he had nothing this time around.
Yeah, he's had the ability to pull sides out of trouble. You remember against the Kiwis, he was able to get us home there, and he's made some knocks down the years. But unfortunately, he ran into the juggernaut that is Wet Up, and they steamrolled him. I mean, that's one of the lowest scores. Never mind in finals history, but in
semi-finals, definitely
in history, in the whole tournament.
Well,
history.
I think what's his name? 2 inches short beats him last year with scoring 4, and ironically, Nice Gary knocked him out.
Yeah, well, it was their time to cop the dick.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they had to chase this time, so 5 wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So Wet Up through to the grand final. Johnson, yourself, and Gavin Merrifield through to their 3rd grand final, and just after. Sorry, go on.
So just we haven't really mentioned Johnson enough. Johnson played a couple of handy knocks
at the start of the tournament. He did. He fell away towards. See, that's what's it's always happened with Wet Up, and the fact that they've probably got White and Johnson that do the bulk of the scoring, and you've got Gavin Merrifield underneath them who will chime in here or there. He'll pick up a wicket here. Oh, nearly knocked it over. He's leads on anyway. He's good in the field. He'll make a few runs here or there.
Yeah. He's a very handy 3rd player in that sense.
Yeah.
So yourself, Johnson made the runs in the early part of the tournament, and then he fell away. And as he did, you started to come through the back end of the tournament and make the runs. And I think you guys are probably one of the most balanced sides on paper because you've got. You got yourself and Johnson and then Gav, who's a very handy 3rd fill-in who can just do the bits here and there.
He can score his 15, or he can take 2 wickets. And he can get that.
And you stop
run
you
out
3 or 4 boundaries.
And he'll dive for the boundary. You know what I mean? Like that's right. So
So Wet Up through to a 3rd grand final, and they awaited the winner of the 2nd semi-final, which was between Young Money, Cash Money, and the Puff and Billies. Young Money, Cash Money, 49 off their 20 deliveries. That man against Schaefer. Having a field day with the bat, making 30. Now, we've got Rabih mentioned here. He made 10, his highest score at the WCG for some time, but his highest score in that tournament in history. Nathan Maslow took 2 for 15, and then the Puff and Billies were never a shout in the run chase. They got bowled out for 7. Nathan Maslow making 4. Yeah. Schaefer taking 2 for 1. Yeah. Young Money, Cash Money qualifying for a 2nd grand final in 3 years. Boys, thoughts on that semi-final?
Chalk and cheese, mate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Puff and Billies in their 1st ever semi-final, and they just found out how tough it is at that. When the tournament bottlenecks like that, you've got to be on your game, and you've got to be 100% in it. Because
and I don't really even think that them batting first would have made any difference either. They might have scored 25 or something like that. But
you come up against Schaefer, and
Schaefer's just going to knock him out of the park, mate. He's just bang, bang, bang. See you later.
Look, credit to Rabih before. Arnold lays the boot in here, but Rabih made 10. He took the first wicket. He removed the dangerous Azhar in the opening over as well to send them on their way. Yes, he had 49 to bowl at, but it's all about if you're going. As you saw with Wajik in that quarterfinal, if you're going to be any chance of chasing it, you've got to get off to that good start. Once you lose a wicket in the opening over, look, you're pushing shit up your way.
And that's what we're. Yes, exactly. Yes, as we found out that in the next game.
I wasn't let down because I did get to see
I was going to ask
Rabih Elbasha give us one of these, which can mean I've edged it to the keeper. It's not out. All 3 stumps are laying on the ground. Same thing. It's not out.
Wind. It was the wind. I was gonna ask you for analysis, but I knew it was going to come down to you just shitbag and Raz. But if you've got any analysis, look, Puff and Billies crash out at the semi-final stage. Kudos to them. They had a fantastic tournament. Knocked out of the group stage last year only because they had their mate Jason Dark played, who had never played cricket in his life. They bring in Nathan Maslow, who was arguably the find of the tournament.
I'd say he was.
He gets them to a semi-final, and unfortunately they just fall short. But they'll be better for the run and. Yeah, I guess this is the thing. As we remember Joey Azar blowing up about the runner, he's passionate.
Yeah.
But you just think when it comes to that back end, do they have the desire to really win the tournament yet?
Not yet.
Is that the match that's going to, when they get to that back end, they're going to be like, right, we know what what we need
now
to win the tournament.
they've learned the lessons. Like, okay, once you get to the semi-finals and that, you've got a taste of it now.
Yeah.
And then next year you want to come back, especially if you only play once a year, like maybe some of these boys will. You want to actually have, you want to do some well.
You can have plenty of passion, but if you can't handle the pressure, and you've only got 20 balls.
To be fair, they did walk into the eventual champions, didn't they? You know, and once it's one of those things where you look back and you go, you know what, we got knocked out. We got knocked out by the eventual champions. Ryan Schaefer, who had a day out. Rabih Elbasha, what a tournament.
Did he do anything?
Would you agree?
Did he do anything?
Would you agree?
I think the best.
He made 10, took a wicket in that semi-final. That's pretty good outing as skipper.
The only thing I've seen him, he had this trophy in the seatbelt. In the front seat. That's the only thing I've seen him do.
He's driven past me with it in the seatbelt as well.
Yes. Well, that takes us through to the grand final. So Young Money, Cash Money took on Wet Up for the second decider in 3 years. They met in the 2019 decider. They met in the group stage in that Salim Malik fixed match, and they meet in the grand final. The grand final, Young Money, Cash Money won the toss and batted. History suggests that is a very favourable thing to do.
That's correct.
Only one team has ever won the grand final batting second, and that was Nice Gary chasing our target down last year, but we got rolled for like 12 or whatever it was, so that's why they won. So they won the toss. They made probably, a mediocre score, 2 for 25 their 20 deliveries. It depends how you look at it. Very good bowling units.
I was very confident.
It looked very good.
So at the halfway mark, your thoughts keeping them down to 2 for 25?
That was what we're sort of aiming for. Like you got to have a look at them. They're the best side as batting wise,
particularly with Schaefer.
Yeah, with the runs on the board on the day. And I said to the boys, if you can keep them under 30, that's moving the mass.
See that the beauty about that is that it's not a blowout. You lose by 14 runs, but there were so many ebbs and flows in that. Yeah. Schaefer gets off to a flyer. Then you knock him over, so the momentum goes back your way. Then Cookie comes in. He takes the initiative back. Yeah. But then you get Cookie out. Momentum goes back your way. Then you hold Rabs to a maiden in that final over and keep him at 2 for 25. Momentum with you moving in. Then Johnson will move into the second innings. Wet Up were bowled out for 11 after 15 delivery. So that meant that Young Money, Cash Money won the tournament by 14 runs. So Johnson...
You got our first ball.
Second
ball.
Second ball, third ball.
Second, yeah.
He was in the...
So we're still out for a duck.
So the momentum shifts back to them.
That's
right.
But
then you walk out. Couple of plays and misses. Everyone's like, we know this is the big wicket.
Yeah.
You get one to the boundary. It's like, right, he's wide on here. He's not chasing that much. There's still a bit of time.
Yeah.
And then he nicks one. In retrospect, probably not there to drive.
I don't know. It just wasn't sort of actually. I just didn't.
I mean, the form you were in, you would have backed you to hit it, and you did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was with the edge of the bat.
Yeah.
And I think from that
maybe
moment,
too many beers in between the game, between the semi-final, between semi-final 1 and grand final. That's nearly an hour. Sort of.
Then the breaks. hey, Schaefer's premonition of not having a drink and going to the title obviously worked because.
Well, there you go.
Because as it turned out, that once
the ball was a bit hazy once it was coming up the last game.
Once that wicket
fell, it was.
Once that wicket fell, I think everyone in the ground knew that was
all over.
And Gavin Merrifield,
Gavin hadn't batted at all in the whole tournament, which I said to him, which I wanted him to bat earlier, so in case something like this happened.
Gavin Merrifield, walked out to the middle with. Not having batted in the tournament, got knocked over, and he skied one over the fence. Sean Cook,
he got 4 first, second balls.
I think he got 4.
Come on, Gav, you can do this.
No, you got 5. You both of you scored 5.
You scored a 4. I thought he could do this, but anyway, it wasn't to be. So, but good luck, well done for Young Money, Cash Money,
You say that through your gritted teeth.
For those 2 players in there.
So Gavin Merrifield and Matt White made 5 runs. Rabih Elbasha 1 for 1 off his 1 over. Leading from the front, he took a wicket in the semi-final in the first over. He took a wicket in the grand final with his first over. The captain leading from the front, wouldn't you say?
No. I'm lost for... no.
I don't agree. And why is that?
No, I don't agree. No. All I want to know is how Medicare's doing, because Paul Schaefer has been in for 3 shoulder operations for carrying him all day.
This is why you had to be on the podcast. He's done his stuff. He's going to do stand up soon. Until
this moment, Rabih's greatest sporting moment was buying socks at Rebel Sports.
Well,
that was it.
well, it's not his last one, is it? Because the team's gone. His soccer team's gone. He's the captain. He won't go down with the ship.
Oh, you're going to do him like this, are we? Oh, no. So, look, back to the cricket. Young Money, Cash Money, they lifted their first ever title. They were full value.
Yeah.
Look, let's take the bias caps off for a second.
Yeah,
Look,
congratulations.
they
to
did
the
well.
boys.
They were
great tournament.
Look, let's not beat around the bush. Ryan Schaefer in particular finished MVP of the tournament. He made 126 runs, took 7 wickets, fell short of my record mark of 138 runs, so chod. But, mate, it was the most dominant I've seen because, in fairness to him, last year I got to take on Smack My Pitch Up and the Saggy Greens. No disrespect to them, not exactly the highest competition. Young Money, Cash Money, and Schaefer in particular had to take on, how's that? Wet Up, Niff Nuffs, Puff and Billies, Wet Up again. That's a tough run.
Right.
And,
big run.
you know, thanks to Ryan Schaefer who had a fantastic tournament.
126 in the tournament, man. Like that's pretty good.
Well, it's an average of 30 odd.
Yeah.
He averaged 30.
Pretty good.
So if you're averaging
7 wickets.
in 20 ball matches, if you're averaging 30
Yeah.
throughout a tournament,
I actually like to see how many runs they scored in the tournament compared to how many Shafe did.
yeah,
It'd only be about 150, 160 runs.
Well, I think
total.
Cookie he scored a 20 odd against you guys in that
right.
fixed match, the Sally Malik match. And then he scored 15 odd again in the grand final against you guys. So it wouldn't be too much more.
No.
It'd be maybe 160, 170. Rab's got 10. Yeah. He scored a fair chunk, didn't he?
Well,
Yeah.
And that's what happens though, isn't it? The same with me last year. Your better players when they stand up and have a tournament.
Yeah, well, that's right. If the best player to have a chance of winning, the best player has to have a great tournament.
I guess that's why you
100%.
moving forward is going to be. You guys are going to be thereabouts all the time because you've got yourself and Johnson who will take most of the load, and you'll have Merrifield who can
always just come in and do what needs to be done.
Unless someone comes in with a big offer on the off season and wants to poach Gavin Merrifield or Michael Johnson, but that's a question we'll get to.
Well, mate, making grand finals.
What do you want to do?
No, I'll keep the same team, mate. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
So
The boys want to go elsewhere, mate. That's fine by them. I'll just I'll ring Shane Warner's hunt and get him down there.
Shane Warner. Well, hey, as
he's
we
already
said,
asked
he's
you he
keen.
wants to play anyway.
He's keen.
So.
Shane, if you're listening, mate, I know he's a big fan of the podcast.
100%.
My phone.
Well,
blows
Mike
up.
Hussey
My
or-
phone blows up twice a week.
Yeah.
We'll get him in there. How's that signing? No, actually, no. I like me baby Costa and me baby Arnold, so we don't need him. So, look, that wrapped up a fantastic tournament. The leading run scorers for the tournament, Ryan Schaefer with 126, as we mentioned, miles above the rest. Matt White finished with 65, average of about 20.
I'm a score's happy with the 65. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, look, this
it just shows how exceptional
it
Schaefer's
did.
tournament was.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Joel Wodgick finished third with 60.
Johnson's got 54. You know what I mean?
Johnson scored 54. He was number 4 with 54. Only 11 runs less than you. As we said before, he did the work in the early part.
What do you
You
got?
did the work in the back part.
Yeah, from 2 to 5, you got 12 runs.
Tommy Doy, Colt.
You know what I mean?
hero.
The Colt hero finishing with 53. 41
runs.
of those, I believe, was in one match. And 12 of those was in that quarterfinal where if he gave himself 5 more deliveries, maybe
anything could
he's
happen.
in the semi-final and maybe he would have topped the run scoring list, but not to be. Leading wicket takers for the tournament, Ryan Schaefer finished with 7. Matt White finished with 6. Tom Doy with 6. Harry Dean with 5, and special mention to Daniel Blake from Smack My Pitch Up. Fantastic effort. He took 4, made the top 5. So, boys, overall, what a fantastic tournament.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was
Very
really good.
Yeah, it's probably strongest I've played in.
Well, it just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's that one day that you have a lot more people that are buying into it that are just right. That's their
100%.
day to play, and they understand that it's competitive. They get now that it's you're going to be here. Otherwise, you're going to be you're going to be embarrassed, and B, you've got that competitive edge with everyone. That
Well,
you
you got other people.
on here.
You got other people wanting to play all the time, and everyone knows that they can't. There's certain only people playing the test because that's just the way it always has, and no one's given up their spot in the test. So the 2020 is basically an entry to get into it.
And that's a question we will answer shortly.
So
Have you got your Bluetooth on or not? Can you hook that back up? We're going to try Rabs. We're going to try and call the winning captain, Rabih Elbasha. Now, he's aware that we're going to try and call him. He's away in Melbourne on a business trip. Works hard, plays even harder, the great man. He's my boss. I swear it's a business trip. Statewide restorations for those of you playing at home. We're going to give him a call. We tried to call him before. He didn't answer. I don't think he's too keen on getting on the podcast. Hang on. Are you still hooked up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah, on.
Here we go. I don't think he's going to answer.
Young Money, Cash Money, the champion.
Rabih Elbasha, hello, son.
Is that Young Money pocket change there?
Nah, mate, we got rid of ya. Don't try to say otherwise.
What
You're gone.
Hang on,
What are you doing? What
We got
are
rid
you
of ya.
Before we go
I'm
on,
drinking.
look, congratulations on your win. Young Money, Cash Money's first title. Talk us through your thoughts of the tournament before the boys get stuck into you.
Well, before they get stuck into, they'll get stuck into them. Well, I traded someone that was laying me down for 2 years. Someone that I had in the final that tanks and said he's got a bad back. Could have won his first tournament.
Just,
but, you know,
just to let you know, I've had 3 spine operations.
Just to let you know, we did talk about that before.
Look, I don't think there's going to be.
You can
I don't think there's going to be a surprise here, Rabih. But you have been brought up quite a few times on this podcast.
Thank you.
In the tournament itself, mate, how does that trophy? I understand that trophy is still sitting in your passenger seat.
Yeah, there's still got a seatbelt wrapped right around it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I've seen you parked in some mysterious places in car parks. What have you been doing to that trophy, mate?
something you'd fucking love to do.
Mate.
Mate, honestly, we should have won at the first tournament. So,
Yeah, we were.
Regardless of-
Well,
regardless
put it this way, mate. If you could hit the ball or see it, then you might have won that. But anyway, you didn't.
well, unlike you, I actually drink on those tournaments.
Oh,
Thank
do
you.
you?
Well, you do.
Is that right?
You do. Well, it does.
Thank you.
Is that right? Well,
hang on.
how come the next day me and Johnson were still up at probably 6 or 7 o'clock? On the
Yeah,
Sunday
after you won it, you started to
Oh,
drink.
no,
Anyway,
that was last
anyway,
game, mate.
you paid
Yeah.
Coco to fake his back. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, hang on. We've got some questions to ask you. So there's one question. There was a rumor that Ryan Schaefer didn't drink throughout the tournament. Obviously, he had a fantastic tournament. Can you deny or confirm those rumours?
Ryan did drink.
What
Cordial.
one Great Northern.
Staminade doesn't count.
He did drink.
Red
Secondly,
Cordial?
if he did drink or didn't drink, he was way above everyone. So
Yeah.
Well,
his
that's,
performance
drink.
wouldn't-
that's a fact.
No, you didn't drink.
That's
Anyway.
a fact. Second
his
of all,
performance wouldn't have changed.
how much did Matt White pay you? How much was in that wet paper bag, that brown paper bag that he slipped to you before match 12 in order for you guys to throw that match to knock us out? We just want to know
That's negative.
we just want to know what your price is for the future. You know what I mean?
Negative. Matt White was too good on that game.
That's
true.
it. There you go, mate.
Oh, I tell you what. See, he would never ever give Whitey a compliment, so I know it's fixed.
It's fixed.
Oh,
There's no doubt whatsoever.
Mate, they've been on it all afternoon
look,
about this, mate.
Thank you for answering the call. We know you're in Melbourne on a business trip.
Is it business or
Thank
shoulder
you.
surgery?
Business trip.
I'm actually eating some great food as we speak.
Well, look, we better let you go, but I'm going to pass you on to Daniel Arnold for the final word. Daniel, have you got anything to ask him?
No, mate. I think we've.
You've emptied the tank,
I
haven't you?
think we've emptied the tank. I think he's. I think.
Oh, that can't go to air. Oh shit! All right, I think we'll leave it there. Rabih, thank you for tuning into the podcast and calling in or answering the phone.
My pleasure. To all my supporters and haters, I still love you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've copped a lot of criticism on YouTube. You've just shown them that you are the real deal, Daniel Gill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, mate. Have a safe flight, and I'll see you back soon, boss.
All right, see
Thank you.
buddy.
I'm not locked out.
Take it
Thank
easy,
you.
mate.
Goodbye.
We'll see
See
you,
you, mate.
Rabih, my baby. We'll see you, buddy.
So my baby. See ya. Bye bye.
See you, bud.
Bye, boys.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to do some bleeping, I think, soon. All right, so there you heard from the winning captain, Rabih Elbasha. What a man! All right, so we'll finish off the podcast. that went better than expected. We'll finish off the podcast with fan questions. Thank you for sending them in. We value everything. We value each comment. every critique you have of us, and we'll, without me blabbering on a bit more, we'll roll on to the questions. So the first question, this is from Lux. I don't know if that's your real name, Lux, but if it is, that's a great name.
Love you, Lux.
Who was the most improved player of the tournament, and what was the most controversial moment? So it's a two-part question. Whitey, I'll go to you first. Who was the most improved player of the tournament?
Certainly wasn't Jack Sullivan.
Well, no, he's gone backwards.
Yeah, he's gone backwards. Most improved. Oof, good question. Good question.
Personally, I think go to Schaefer because Schaefer just.
Well, but we know what he can do
shown
in that
Well,
sense.
I guess, yeah. It's one of those. If you
Yeah.
if you judge him off the Test series form,
Yeah.
definitely most improved. We know what he can do, though. If
I'd say the big man from
Tommy Doy.
Tommy Doy.
Tommy Doy,
Yeah.
I think
That's sort of
him again. He usually flourishes
Goes
in that
all right.
tournament, but
Yeah, it's
with
hard,
the
yeah.
ball. So I guess you're probably right because with the ball, he's been found wanting at times. He took 6 wickets. He's decided to drop
right.
those dinky little rubbish he used to bowl, and now he just
He
with his
rips
big
it in a bit
frame.
more, yeah.
Now he sends them down, and
Which
he
is
was
a lot more harder to hit, you know what I mean?
yeah. So he was that's probably not a bad shout.
Yeah, kudos to the Cold Hero.
I would probably go Justin Brooke. Justin's been fantastic this season. When he was at who played? Yeah, last year when he was at Rabih's 11, and that whole year he was pretty like he never really got the results. He never really got the wickets or the runs that he's capable of.
No.
In the Test series, that's a different story. He was good. He was showing form heading into this tournament, and I think he decided to take that 2 inches short of a length job on his back.
Well,
Or carry them on his back.
He's in a better frame of mind too these days. You know,
Yeah, he's growing hair.
and he seems to enjoy. He seems to enjoy playing cricket now
Getting more
again.
hair,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Donald Trump mop's going, and he's starting to get some that would be my that would be my pick for most improved. But yeah, Tom Doy's up there as well.
Pass that beer over, mate.
Most improved, I could probably name Costa Savas.
Yeah, well, he actually had a good. Yeah.
Mate, he's grown 7 foot since the off season, and
Yeah.
now with the ball, you'll probably see a lot more of Costa Savas not letting anything out. We'll wait for the next question to happen to announce that. But yeah, he was good. He just sends them down pretty quickly now, and he sends them down from a good height. And I've been
I think in another year or two he will be pretty dangerous there.
yeah.
100%. 100%.
Most controversial moment. Well, we know ours. What was your most controversial moment of the tournament?
I don't know. What would you say?
Would you say the match fixing in match 12?
No, not really. Maybe the the Ryan Schaefer not drinking most of the game.
Yeah, that's
You know, and then to play him in the final, you know.
yeah, that's
That's not how it's supposed to go. I had about 15, 20 beers by then.
Well,
that
everyone
time of the
did.
day.
So, what makes Ryan Schaefer thinks he's that special?
It's
I
only
know.
it's only the rules of the backyard.
Well, we'll
That's
have
it.
to get we'll have to get a Bob Hawke
That's
the Bob Hawke task force on there,
Yeah.
mate.
We'll
No
get
drink,
the camera on. If we don't see you in the fridge,
mate. It's not prohibition, mate. You can have a drink, don't you? Yeah, Dinkum.
just because you live a little bit away, mate. You know, we've plenty of beds there, and we'll get you an Uber, whatever, mate.
my look. Seriousness aside, my most controversial moment was probably when Tom Doy hit the ball into the bushes against Nif Nuffs.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
And they thought that it went over the fence, so they thought they'd won the match.
It was the catch or something, wasn't it?
No, it hit Tom Doy. It was the last man in, and he hit it into the bush.
got caught in the tree.
So they thought it went over the house,
Oh, that's
and they
right,
thought it was
yeah.
out 6 and out, so
Yes.
they won the match.
Yeah.
It turned out, no, it
No,
wasn't. It was in the bush.
tree, yeah.
So, and that was like, they were like, yeah, sweet. And everyone was like,
right.
where is it? And it's like,
And
no,
it was-
it's in the backyard, man. And then
Yeah.
from that, the next ball, or the next couple of balls, he gets a top edge and it lands on the roof and
doesn't
it's a six,
roll off.
and doesn't roll off. That was the most controversial period because it actually changed that match and then probably changed the course of Nif Nuff's tournament off that. If they don't meet Young Money Cash Money in a quarter final, they would probably they make you.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens
That's
there?
right.
They might get dumped out. They might not. They might not. But they wouldn't have run into a hot and
Because I don't know if all of our viewers know that the rule of that if the ball leaves the premises and comes back in, it's a one-handed catch. It takes the wicket. So it's and I think if that ball had rolled off.
Oh, it was.
well,
nice.
Well, that's
Gavin wasn't it Gavin earlier on? It took the off the roof and then but had his hand in the tree.
No. He went back for it. I think Sean
yeah.
top edged it, and he went back, but he crashed into the fence.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think that was the issue there. But I guess apart from the blatant match fixing, that was probably the biggest.
Yeah.
Mate, no evidence, mate. Drop it.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
It's what, exactly.
All right, thank you for that, Lux. Next question is from Jet Brewer. This is an interesting one because I don't know if anyone can answer this. Who is your favourite Australia Day T20 Big Bash team that you don't play for?
Oh, interesting.
Whitey?
Oof. Oh, okay. That's an interesting question, actually. Never thought that would ever come up. Oh.
Fuck, no one. We hate them all.
Yeah,
If
well,
you don't
they're the enemy. You know, but I'd say the Saggy Greens, eh?
Yeah, they're a fan favourite, aren't they?
They're a fan favourite, yeah. Big time doy and the old up, eh?
The girls have getting a bit of a
Yeah, and the
following
girls
as well.
too, man.
Oh, what a surprise.
But for me, it's the young blokes.
Yeah, the young blokes.
Six
for me.
offenders.
Yeah,
you wanna see them
I'm
do it.
not really because they're going to be pretty dangerous.
Well,
next
now
year.
that they're going to be turned
Yeah,
18,
that's it.
they can go and get there with the big boys now.
That's it. So,
All right.
yeah. I
So,
think they
now,
can handle themselves.
so a
though, too.
message to the boys next year.
Yeah, you
now
got
that
it.
you're 18, you can be dropped from the test side.
That's
So
right.
you want to get your
So,
you want to get your act together. Actually, they have been starting to.
yeah.
Nathan's not getting dropped. There's no way Nathan's
Oh, no,
getting dropped.
definitely not.
Fucking no way. You can drop him, I'll pick him right up, champion.
Yeah, no, mate.
Yeah, look, hard one to. It's a hard one to answer, so I'm going to change this up. I'm going to change the question up. Who do you reckon your biggest rival is? Because you guys with Young Money, Cash Money played in 2 grand finals in the last 3 years.
Well, there's a few, like, yourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've met 5 times, and we've
Young Money, Cash Money, and Nice Gary. Like, they seem to be all around. We always seem to clash in the semis or things like that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I think I'd say we've played each other 5 times, played each other twice in the opening match of the tournament. It tends to be the team that beats you.
Yeah.
So I'd say Young Money, Cash Money for us because we've played them twice, once with you in that side and once with you in this side, and they've stuck me both times. So that's one I really like. If we draw them again, I'm like, right, that's the one I want to. And now that they're champions, it's like, you know,
Let's get it, eh?
our rivalry, Nice Gary, we only seem to meet them in deciders lately.
Yeah.
So
we seem
they're
to
a big
meet
one.
yous. We seem to meet yous quite often in the round games. You know, we've always been there. But
Well,
never,
the last 2 years
yeah.
has been the first round. So I guess that's an easier question to answer. But thanks for the look. Yeah. The Babes are obviously a favourite. Saggy Greens, because you want to see them do well. They're the underachievers. They're the dark horses that have actually overachieved probably the last 2 years. Semi-final and a quarter-final. And the youngsters, I guess, for now, until they turn 18.
Yeah.
Next question, Abdullah Malik, one of our main men. Love you, Abdullah. Good to hear from you again. Which players emerge, this is what we're talking about now, which players emerge as potential future Matt's 11 or Bren's 11 prospects, and and the second part of that question, which Australia Day T20 Big Bash teams need to change things up to improve? So we'll go to the first bit. Which players emerged as potential future Matt's 11 and Brendan's 11 prospects? I guess this can be a bit of an announcement for the one-day match that is about to be aired. That first video will premiere Sunday. From my point of view, after that tournament, I made sure that I got Riley Cornforth and Costa Savas' signatures on paper.
Good signatures.
So they've signed for Brendan's 11. You'll see them in the one-day match. For you got Davey Luppo in.
Yeah, well,
And
then
negotiations are still ongoing for Nathan Maslow for next year. Now, we understand that Nathan Maslow likes to go on a bit of a venture for about a month, so he can be quite hard to contact. So that suits him perfectly because he wants to play outdoor cricket next year, but he can't do that if he wants to play every week. But
that's right.
WCG's every month.
That's right.
So he can go on a Larry Ender, for a month.
Yeah,
and then come back and be ready for the next match.
Ready to go, smack yous around the park, and then go off for another. We'll put it this way: if he scores 100 in the first game, I'll fill his car up for a couple of beers in the back for you, lad.
The 2 signings mainly from each side would be David Lupton and.
Well, we lose Steps and.
Do you really lose Steps though?
No, well, he's out
Do
of
you
our
really
team.
lose him? He was shocking this year.
No, but he's out of our team.
Yeah, the great man, Alex Steppen. We'll try and get him on a podcast before he jets off. He goes to the army.
Good luck with China, mate.
Yeah, good luck with getting annihilated overseas. You lose him, but you get Dave Lupton, you've signed, and Nathan Maslow is still in the works. Nathan Maslow, if you get him on the books, particularly for the Test series, you've got yourself, Maslow, Harry Dean, Schaefer,
Wodgick.
Yeah, bowls pies, Wodgick, but you've got a pretty decent
as you said, mate, we need a spinner. Yeah, Kogo's our opener.
That's like Logic should bowl spin.
Yeah.
He can tweak it, mate. When he bowled spin, he took 3 for it.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's what's going to be going on next year. But
so they're the two. So for me, it's Riley, Cornforth, and Costa Savas that have been
which is
signed.
good, like too, in the sense because they're young people, and as you see, you got 2 to 3 players now that probably won't get on the drink too much. You know what I mean? So you got
they'll be drinking.
But you got a quarter of a team there that's could be pretty sober. That could work in your advantage.
We're the defending champions, boy. We do it with the fuck we want, all right?
Yeah, righto, mate.
That's right, baby. We'll have to fucking edit that out. You can't. We'll edit that one.
In comparison to what you've just done with your Champions Trophy, and well deserved to do so,
thank you.
I've seen inside Rabih Elbasha's car, and there's a wig and lipstick next to the trophy. So I don't know what he does to that trophy.
It's dented in a little bit. Did you notice?
Small indents.
Yeah,
Several,
like pinpricks. Yeah, I did notice that as well. The second part of that, and which Australia ADT20 Big Bash team needs to change it out to improve? There's one team, 60 grit.
Yeah.
They need a serious rocket up them. Otherwise, there could be, there's...
It could be a complete sacking.
They're not going to get... They'll get better. They'll work on things. But I guess they're the only side, really. Well, smack my pitch up.
Everyone else is getting better. Like, they've, like Jake, as you've seen, is probably not a test player, all right? But he's a good one-day player.
Oh, that's an announcement.
You know
Jake, you've just been sacked on the podcast. Hello.
No.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, it's not been sacked at all. He already knows anyway. But, he's great in the one-day stuff, you know what I mean? So... He
didn't shut up that night, did he?
No.
Hold on, come on. Mate, he was good. He was good value, Jake.
Good, and he sort of realised that too. I sort of had to talk to him already about it. It was like, what are your plans? What do you want to do? And he's like, sort of agreed with me. You know what I mean? He's like,
he didn't really have a choice. Well, you're not going to play a test match. Oh, I don't agree with that. Okay, fuck, too bad, mate. Too bad. So look, 60 grit are probably the only team. Look, the Babes have improved. They're on the up.
Rabih Elbasha, I'll tell you what. His whole season hasn't been really good, and he's.
Oh, he went okay with you in the Test series, didn't he, mate?
But yet again, I think we found a position for him last. And that can pull off the good 20, 25.
Well, as you said, they lose Alex Stepien next year. He may be back.
He is the talented Elbasha.
He may be back.
100%.
Oh, fuck, they're struggling then. He may be. I love you, Hamid. I'm only joking.
Yeah. Right,
he may be back for the Australia, but if they lose Stepien, they've got a spot to fill. So if they can get a semi-decent cricketer in there, and it's not going to be hard to replace Steps, let's be honest.
No.
I'm joking. No, I'm not. Then they could be a force again, especially if Justin Brooke can take the reins. But look, I think 60 grit's the only one for that.
Yeah.
All right. So next we've got Rob Sherwin, you legend. Good to hear from you again, Rob. One of our main men. He's got a question for Daniel Arnold in particular. He says, going into the Australia ADT20 Big Bash Tournament, what were your expectations for the tournament, considering you and Brendan Scott were joining forces, and that How's That reached last year's grand final? We expected to win it, didn't we?
I was expecting to be right in the pointy end of that competition.
I think the one thing
I
is...
didn't.
Fuck you. Yeah, you didn't because you had an agreement back door.
No, mate.
Fuck, how you spent it? What's the Ferrari doing in your fucking drive? I see it in the garage. I see it in the garage. They still cost a bit anyway. But yeah, look,
mate.
So I'll let you answer that. But look, we expect to win the tournament.
His house has now got walls, so money comes from somewhere.
Especially. I mean, a brand new couch grass in the background out of nowhere, like in the backyard.
Oh, the WCG's going well, mate.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, mate, I did. Mate, we both perform. We can win it. There's no doubt that we can take it on. Mate, I was excited, and I really thought we were a red hot chance to take that tournament out. So it was.
Captain let you down, did he?
Yeah, I think he did.
No, not really. Not really.
Got out cheaply.
No, I'm not upset.
Mate, it's one of those things.
Well, look, it's the group of death. It was a lottery, and unfortunately, we could take solace in the fact that we got knocked out by the two teams that made the grand final, and we beat one of them.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
A different draw, a different run, a different bit of luck. If we stay through,
I mean, look,
but we didn't. So fuck.
Have a look at those three teams. If they had been in each other's draw, we'd probably all been in the semi-finals.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah,
100%.
So
do you know what I mean?
It is what it is. So look, Rob, to answer your question, we were very confident. Let's say me and Daniel were getting very kissy and cuddly heading into that tournament. We were very excited.
Oh, you should have seen
very kissy, very cuddly.
And as it turned out, Costa Savas wasn't big on the kissing and cuddling, but he'll grow into it. He'll be forced to grow into it. Yeah, we expected to win it. Unfortunately, we got knocked out of the group stage. But hey, we make every second grand final, so you watch out for us next year.
We're back.
This next one from Tom Menzies, you'll love this. Is the old wet up logo Gavin Merrifield?
Yes.
It's not.
Brody Zappa.
It's not. It's actually Patrick Swayze from Point Break.
But let me tell you, Gav at the moment with his hairstyle looks very similar.
We've always called Gav, for as long as we've known him, Bodie Zappa from that movie Point Break, because he looks like Patrick Swayze in that movie. And he surfs. And he's
been a surfer since he was a young kid.
Were you at one stage considering, were you going to use the Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse?
Well,
it's a different Patrick.
Roadhouse.
Well,
House.
Don't worry about Patrick.
Roadhouse.
That blonde that was on the show, on the movie, yeah. She could come and play my team.
What was it? Yeah, what was
her name?
No, what was it? What was it?
Remember the nurse?
What was the bad guy? What was the bad guy's name in that movie?
Oh, yeah.
He's shouting over the river.
Yeah, over the road. Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah. I know. That's on me tipping my tongue. Anyway.
Yeah, it is too. I'm going to remember it after the podcast.
Movies made in the 80s.
But Tom, it's not. But funny you mention that. It's actually quite funny you mention that, because that's who we've called Gavin Merrifield for years. Bodie Zappa from Point Break, who is Patrick Swayze. So it's not, but you're nearly bang on. And the final question, Belonga 13 sent in $1 million, but we've picked the one that's relevant to the Australia ADT20 Big Bash, and it's, with the success of the Australia ADT20 Big Bash, what are your plans to continue to grow the tournament? As it stands, look, we're in we've got a lot more announcements to make in the off season. We're looking to expand into a new venue. That may bring new opportunities. As it stands right now, 12 teams is probably, it fits.
Well, it's 12 teams, and the way we play the tournament actually goes the whole day.
Yeah.
So if you want to extend it, you either got to go 2 days and play into the night too. Because once you start putting more than 12 teams, 16 teams, you're going to go into the night. 18 teams, you'll go into the night. So it depends on, it's a time limit thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything,
I think at the moment we've got 19 matches in the tournament. Yeah. If you go to 16 teams, because you have to go to an even number, that now means that you go 4. So you go to 4 groups of 4. So it's 24 group matches just in the group stage. Yeah. So look, there's a lot of things to announce. We may be doing live streams instead of doing editing. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of feasibility testing with you guys, the fans, as to which way we go. We're still up in arms about, we're not up in arms. We're likely going to move to a new venue, so that gives us 2 venues. It gives us more options. As Matt said, if we're going to expand the tournament, we may have to go into the night. We may have to go 2 days.
Yeah, you do a Saturday, Sunday.
I think at this stage, the tournament is taking a natural growth as it is, because everyone, it's just more competitive teams. It's a different structure. It's like a mini World Cup structure, which works with fans. It works with us. It's just a tournament that you're gonna have you start from fresh, and you're gonna have a winner on the day.
I mean, in saying that, it would be good to say if we go down the other venue and have a 2-day tournament, then we could have 6 to 8 teams of supporters. And especially all the better supporters that always like to comment on our staff, give them the opportunity to.
There are
you know what I mean.
There's a lot of things
and stuff like that.
There's a lot of things to be worked out, to be talked about, to be discussed in the off season. As Matt says, we are growing, and we're happy to have you along for the ride. And
with the WCG vlog, they actually get a little taste of a little bit of banter. And stuff. I think.
Yeah, I think. Look, that's to our benefit. I think a lot of people have asked for the raw footage and stuff on the day, and
it's very raw.
Let's just say if you can't take a joke, you're not for us. Put it that way.
And if you can't party until about at least 4 a.m. the next day after the cricket.
Well, I can't.
Yeah, well, that's why you can't win tournaments anymore.
Excuse me.
I do. I go home.
Trophies hanging out my
You didn't win it. You didn't win it, mate. You got to give it to you.
But yeah, so look, things are moving. But guys, that wraps up this podcast. What a fantastic tournament it was. What a fantastic podcast it was. Good to have you on.
Thanks for having me on, boys. It was great.
If you liked Daniel Arnold on the podcast, give it a thumbs up, give us a like, let us know how he went.
Thanks, brother.
He's going to be a regular fixture, because as you can tell, he came prepared. That'll wrap it up for podcast 8. So this will probably be out Friday. I'll probably get it out tomorrow night, if not Saturday morning. And then Sunday night will be the premiere of the first session of the 1-day match.
by the way, make sure you tune into that. It is a cracker of a game.
It's a tight finish. Won't give out a
Probably
result, but it goes from start to finish, guys.
I'd say the best game the whole year.
Under lights, cracker game. Stay tuned for that.
Mate, cracker pitch.
Cracker pitch.
It was
Cracker way to end the season. We'll be doing more podcasts through the off season. There'll be more content. Let us know how we went tonight. Until next time, see you later.
Guys, take it easy.